Well, there is a lot going on in our night skies, right? We can often see a lot of cool planets. Sometimes we can catch meteor showers. This is from a dash cam in the Milwaukee area back in December of 2023. This was the Geminid meteor shower, and there you can see the meteor quickly streaking across the sky. This was going south to north across the sky. That's what we call a bolide, or a bright fireball. It's part of a comet or comet debris that is streaking through the sky, catching on fire in the Earth's atmosphere, producing that bright light, that bright fireball there. Well, that is in comparison to this likely space debris, which was likely a satellite crashing back down to Earth. This is from Dave and Kat in Hustisford, and this was a photo taken during the evening hours in January of 2025. And notice how different it looks from that meteor video that we had just a little bit ago. You can see that there is just a lot on fire here, and that's because, in this case, the space junk, or the satellite, is coming back into the Earth's orbit. It was low orbiting around the Earth, and then it gets sucked back into the Earth's orbit. Usually these are dead satellites, and they start to break apart in the Earth's atmosphere, and then everything starts catching on fire. Here's another video view of this. This is really wild. This is from Michelle in Sussex. Look at this clear video, just incredible. And you can see all of the pieces. So this is completely breaking apart as it's rolling through the Earth's atmosphere. A lot of folks saw this in southern Wisconsin during the night here back in January of 2025, and you can just see how this was streaking across the sky. Incredible, incredible sight. Now, what's interesting about this is space debris. There's a whole lot of it. So let's talk more about kind of the differences here between meteors, like we saw with the meteor shower, and then the satellites or the space debris that's coming down from space, because there's a lot to talk about with this. So a meteor, as I talked about, is comet debris or space rock, and meteor showers happen a couple of times a year. The Geminid meteor showers we saw a moment ago happens in December, and that's where some of that leftover comet debris comes through Earth, or we're spinning around and we're kind of coming into that comet debris at the same time every year, and we'll get that bolide, as it's known there, that bright, high, fast, bright meteor, or several meteors that streak across the sky. Well, space junk, and again, you're seeing that here, that breakup is more visible, and that's because, again, it's a machine, like a satellite, that is breaking up upon entry to the Earth's atmosphere. It could be an old spacecraft, could be satellites. Well, get this. The world's largest garbage dump is around the Earth. It's not really regulated, and there is, we launch a whole bunch of stuff all around the world all the time, right? Satellites and everything else, and it's all floating around the Earth. It's all just floating out there. Well, sometimes things die, right? They get old and they die, and then they come crashing back down into Earth. Now, by some accounts, 10 to 40% of satellites that break up, parts of those pieces could reach the ground. Now, given the fact that Earth is mainly made of water, right? Most of it statistically, if it were to fall, would fall over water. And that's something, as more things crash into the Earth over time from what's called LEO, or low Earth orbit, that's something that's going to have to be watched, because what goes up must come down, right? So the space junk aspect of this is a lot more than just kind of a pretty sight in the sky. There could be some dangers there. In this case, over southern Wisconsin, it was high. It didn't really pose any danger. Sometimes you can also get little meteorites that crash into the ground as well, little fragments that crash in there as well. But I think the space junk aspect of this really is going to need to be watched in the years to come, because there is so much out there, and it's just floating in orbit around the Earth, and then eventually it will come back into the Earth's orbit and look like this and start to burn up. So very interesting in our night sky. And as meteorologists, we're not just looking at the weather, right? We're also looking at what's happening in our skies.